Hey guys, welcome to another VATSIM video here on the FS 2004 AviationPro channel. Today we're going to discuss the VFR Flightplan. I'm going to show you how to make a flight plan in squawkbox and how to file that flight plan. But first of all, we're going to go through a few points you have to keep in mind before you're going to fly VFR. It's recommended to file a flight plan for every single flight, whether you fly VFR or IFR. It's recommendable to file that flight plan, even though if there's not ATC around, you don't know whether ATC suddenly might pop up, and if ATC suddenly is available, they actually know where you are going. So I recommend you to file a flight plan in every single case. Alright. Another thing, VFR doesn't use fixes, only visible landmarks. So you don't have those fixes with those strange names you see in IFR, but you only use visible landmarks, and via these visible landmarks you're going to fly your route. If you arrive in an airport, you actually use fixes as well, but those fixes are based on visible landmarks, so we're not able to enter that fix or use that fix with your GPS. It's not on your GPS, you have to use it as a visible landmark, but we're going to show you that in the next video as well. And the last thing, be familiar with your country. It's very important, of course. If you don't know at least the names of the bigger cities and bigger towns, you're going to get lost very easily. So make sure you do your best at school learning those cities in the world, but also in your own country, so you actually know where you're going and you're a bit more familiar. And also, before you're going to make your VFR flight, make sure you just study the charts a little, and so you understand the shapes of the country and the shapes of the cities in order to correctly fly your flight plan. So guys, as you can see, I've started up Squawkbox again, and now we're going to fill this flight plan form. Of course, we're going to fly VFR in our case. We'll just select VFR here. The departure airport is going to be Teugen in the Netherlands, which is Echo Hotel Tango Echo. I've actually been there in real about 2 years ago, I think. You can click on this video if you want to see that. It was my first flying lesson actually. But anyways, we're going to fly to Lelystad Airport. You might know Lelystad for it's a nice little airport, and the FS weekend is a very popular event that takes place every year at Lelystad. So probably be familiar with this airport. And the alternate airport, if something happens and we can't land at Lelystad, we're going to fly to Amsterdam. Okay, the departure time, well, of course, you have to do this in the Zulu time, so the UTC time. And if we, in our case, this time, if we're going to take off, let's say 2 o'clock local time, we have to enter 12 o'clock in UTC time. You can find that on the internet if you don't know what your time is at the moment, your UTC time. The en route flight time, you can calculate this if you want to, or just make a rough guess. Well, let's say 20 minutes. And the fuel available, how many minutes and hours of fuel you have available. The cruising airspeed, of course, this is not very much. If you will take a Cessna 172, well, I'm not sure really. I'm just gonna enter 100 knots. I don't fly the Cessna really that much. But anyways, just take the normal cruising speed of your aircraft. You can find it in the manuals. The cruising altitude, you may enter VFR here, because VFR, of course, you have to be aware that there are areas that you need to avoid. So your altitude might swing around a little. You're not going to cruise at the same altitude for the most of the time being. So you may enter VFR, which gives the ATC an indication that your altitude is not going to be the same every single time. But if you make a short flight, in our case, you can just enter a normal altitude, in this case 2000 feet. So you can either do VFR or a certain amount of feet. Okay. Voice capabilities, we have a fully working headset. I can really recommend that. You don't have time to use text while flying, or it just saves you a lot of time, and of course it gives an extra bit of realism if you are able to use a microphone. Just spend a few bucks on a headset. This is not that hard. Okay, call sign, of course, the aircraft registration number. When you connect, that call sign will automatically appear here. The route, we're going to go over to a chart right now, so I can show you how to file this route properly. So guys, I have here a chart of the Netherlands, and it's an old chart actually. It's not being used anymore, it's not valid anymore. But if you want to have a really good up-to-date chart of the whole country you're going to fly in, you can buy that on the internet or in a pilot shop. But also, if you don't want to spend money on VFR charts, you can maybe find an old chart like I did on the internet. So you have to do a little bit of searching. Even though it's not valid anymore, it does give you a good representation of the area. Okay, so what's going to be our route? We're going to depart from this little airport here at Teugen, and we're going all the way to this little airport, Lelystad. In your flight plan, you're allowed to do this just a direct line, so Teugen direct to Lelystad, and of course you have to avoid the areas you are not allowed to fly over. But you can also simply, if you want to fly a little bit of a route, you can just enter the names of the cities you're going to fly along to. So let's say we're going to take off from Teugen. Then next we're going to fly to Deventer, all the way to Zwolle, all the way to Dronten, and then to Lelystad. So if you want to fly this route, just simply type in the city names. So the air traffic controller knows what your route's going to be, and of course it makes it easier for the controller. Otherwise you're going in a different way. If you file your flight plan a direct route, then the air traffic controller doesn't really know where you're planning to go. But if you just enter the cities you're going to fly along, just that helps the controller and yourself to show you the route you're going to fly. So guys, we're back over to squawkbox, as you can see, and we're going to type in our route. So in case if you want to go directly to an airport, you simply type direct, or first the departure airport, then direct, and then the arrival airport. But in our case, because we want to let the ATC know our exact route, we're going to type in the cities we're going to fly to. So we have to type in Deventer, Zwolle, Dronten, and that's it. Okay, so just type in the cities, and if you have any additional comments, place them here. For example, if you are new on the network, tell the air traffic controller here that you are newbie, so he can take care of that. Okay. Another thing to really train your VFR skills is to fly circuits at an airport. So if we want to fly circuits at, for example, Groningen, we're going to type in Groningen. The arrival airport is Groningen as well. Well, we'll leave alternate for the moment. So if you want to make circuits at an airport and practice touch and goes, you simply put it like this: VFR to stay within the circuit. Okay, so that's the basic route you have to enter when you're going to fly circuits. In the comments you can say, for example, I want to make 5 touch and goes. Okay, so the air traffic controller knows if the air traffic controller is online that you're going to make 5 touch and goes. So guys, this is the basic setup of a VFR flight plan via squawkbox. Of course, as you can see, it's quite simple, but in the next video we're going through VFR flight preparation, and you will see that you really have to follow your routes carefully, especially when departing and arriving at an airport, because there are areas you need to avoid. You have to avoid flying over cities. There are low flying areas you are not allowed to enter, for example. So we're going to go through all of that in the next video, and it's going to be quite a long and tough video, I must say. But anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope you understand a little bit how to file the flight plan via squawkbox. In the next video we're going to all of this in much more detail, but I'm sure you will be fine flying VFR on the VATSIM network shortly. Okay, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe for much more videos on this channel. Also take a look at my Facebook page in order to stay tuned with the channel and with the latest updates on new videos. So I hope to see you next time, and have a great day.